is a big concern in Australia. In fact, recent research has shown that we're the biggest gamblers in the world. So there's more money spent on gambling per capita in Australia than anywhere else in the world. The community really is quite concerned about gambling, in particular where they're seeing saturation advertising of gambling and really what they see as a linking between gambling and sports in particular, and they're concerned about the normalisation of gambling for our children in Australia. The Australian Gambling Research Centre was really set up in order to provide data and statistics to policymakers to help inform the way that they develop policy around gambling. It was set up in order to increase our understanding about gambling, what causes gambling, what might cause gambling harm, so that we can really get a better idea about how we can help consumers, help protect consumers from harm, how to minimise that harm, and also to try and understand a bit more about what factors might be related to resilience to gambling harm. We've got quite a few different projects that are happening at the moment. One of our projects is Gambling in Suburban Australia, where we're really looking at how gambling sits within its local environmental context. So we've looked at 2 different communities within suburban Melbourne that are about equal in terms of their size and their distance from the city, but which differ quite dramatically in terms of their socio-economic disadvantage. So one community really quite disadvantaged and the other one about average. One of the things we found was that there was quite a difference in terms of the 2 communities in terms of their ability to absorb the losses. So for a family that was living in a fairly average area, they were able to rely on family and friends behind them to help them if they had experienced losses, and the losses may lead to them purchasing things that are less expensive than they used to, perhaps not being able to actually buy a new appliance for quite a while. Whereas for the families in the disadvantaged area, gambling losses may mean that the family doesn't eat or has less ability for children to go on family excursions, etc. Another project that we've got is actually using data from the Australian Temperament project. Now this is a 30-year study that's actually followed children from birth through to now being 31 years old. We've got gambling questions now in the latest wave of this data, so we're able to actually look at what factors might have been present in children in their childhood, in their early adolescence and early adulthood that may be leading to gambling and gambling problems now. So another project that we've got running at the moment is a mixed method study where we're talking to young men who are heavily involved in sports about their gambling, in particularly around their sports betting. So with this project, we're really trying to find out in a lot more detail what are the attitudes for these young men towards sports and towards betting, and how these 2 might be interlinked. So this study will use some interviews and surveys with young men to explore their attitudes towards gambling and their behaviours. It will also interview some parents and some coaches in order to get their take on how young men might be experiencing gambling in this new world where we're seeing so much advertising and promotion of sports betting.